Hey guys, welcome to another edition of our Children's Ministry podcast. Today I want to spend just a few minutes talking about how to lead a child to Christ. And so that can be an intimidating process, and so I want to take the tension out of that by talking through our steps that we use here at HDC to help you do that successfully. And so the first step obviously is when a kid comes to you and they say, "Hey, Mr. Jeff, I'm interested in accepting Christ. How do I do that?" And so what we ask you to do when that happens is to pull that child aside and to go through our New Life in Christ booklet that we've designed just for kids. And what this does is this takes the ABCs that you are all familiar with here, just having been at High Desert Church, and it puts them in kid-friendly terms with some cool graphics and pictures and highlights key passages from the Bible that will really help kids understand this. And what we ask you to do is talk through this. You can even kind of think of it like almost like a storybook where you can read to the child through the booklet and show them the pictures. Or if the child's old enough and feels comfortable enough, you can have them read it to you out loud. And as you're turning the pages, just ask if they have any questions or if there's anything that wasn't clear. And so this is the first step, working through this booklet. And it'll take you maybe 10 or 15 minutes. It's not this long process, but it's definitely a profitable one. And so once you go through that booklet, if you feel that a child is not ready, that's okay. You can give them the booklet and then kind of keep it and take it home and refer back to it later. If, on the other hand, that child is ready to receive Christ, what we ask you to do is to wait. And that might sound like a weird thing to do, but we would like you to wait for the child's parents. And usually when you're having these conversations, or by the time in service that you have this conversation with kids, by the time you finish, you're about maybe 20 minutes away from their parents coming to pick them up. And at High Desert Church, we just value family so much that we don't want to exclude parents from this process, and we'd hate for them to miss this important milestone in their child's life if they don't have to. And so we ask for you to wait for mom and dad to come. And when they do come, what we would have you do is just kind of go, "Hey, Billy has expressed interest in accepting Christ, and I've kind of talked him through the ABCs, and he's interested in doing that. Do you guys have a minute for us just to go off into a room and to let Billy pray to receive Jesus? Is that something that's okay with you?" And 99 times out of 100, parents are excited about that, and they're ready to do that. On that 1% that maybe they're new to our church, they don't even know what that means, that's okay. You can just give them the material and send it home, and there's nothing wrong with that. But most parents, when you tell them that, they're excited and they want to do it now on the spot. And so you can go into one of our rooms and pray with that child to receive Christ with their parents in the room. Now, when I have these kind of conversations typically with parents, what I do is I first give parents the opportunity, and I'll say something like, "Hey, would you be interested in leading this prayer time, or would you like me to?" And 99 times out of 100, most parents are like, "Actually, we'd like you to." That can be kind of intimidating for parents, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, and we're more than happy to do that. But I always like to leave that option open for that 1 or 2% that are interested in leading that time. And in our New Life in Jesus books for kids, there's a sample prayer that you can talk through if that's something you don't feel comfortable leading on the spot yourself, and so you can kind of talk through that prayer with the child. And so once they've accepted Christ, we have this certificate that we give them where they can fill in their name and the date, and you can sign it and write your name just as a reminder of what that child did that day. And it's a good landmark for them in their spiritual journey. If over the years they forget or they wonder if they've accepted Christ, they can look back on this and say, "Yeah, I did, and Mr. Jeff was there, Mr. Arnie was there, whoever was there, and they were there when I accepted Christ." And on the back of this card has just some immediate next step stuff that they can do and some Bible verses that they can read along with their family during the week. The last thing that we would ask you to do after that time, and that's an exciting time, and once you've kind of talked through that with parents and prayed with the child, is that we would ask you to fill this card out, or rather to have the family fill it out and give it back to you, and that you can turn that into your director or coordinator. And this lets our staff know that a child has accepted Christ, and what we will do with this information is we will send a follow-up letter and give them an opportunity to contact us and just with any questions that they may have. One of the things that will be included in that letter is some next steps or reference to our kids' baptism class, and again, just our contact info for any questions that they will have about what to do now that their child has accepted Christ. And so in a nutshell, that's our process for leading a child to Christ. I hope this has been helpful to you. I would encourage you this weekend to pick up one of these booklets and just kind of read through it so that you're familiar for when a child does come to you and say, hey, I'm ready to accept Jesus, but how do I go about doing it?